Gemara in Sanhedrin.
Okay,
The bracha that we say. Now, there's a brayso that says over there, Tozer Rabbanan. If you see the moon in its proper time, you make a bracha. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher b'mamor b'rosh chokim v'baruch pi. The Gemara says in the brayso the whole bracha, which is to be said. Now there is a din that when you learn, you're allowed to say Hashem's name the regular way. There is such a din according to many opinions. That's why, let's say Friday night, when you say Kigavno, which is a piece of Zayar, you say Raza da Hashem Echad, but you say Hashem the regular way. Even though L'cheira, it's not davening, it's not tefillah, but because it's in learning, you're allowed to say Hashem's name the regular way. So therefore, some people, if they didn't end up doing Kiddush Levanah in the proper time, so then what they should do is, some people even say you take out the Gemara, but even without that, you can say Tozer Rabbanan and say the bracha, because then you're saying it as learning, not so much as the bracha of Kiddush Levanah, and then you can do the whole rest of Kiddush Levanah, basically, which is just psukim.
Rabbi, can I ask you just a quick question? How come in Zmiras sometimes they don't say the name of Hashem, like Mizmor LeDavid? Some people they say Hashem instead of actually saying Hashem's name.
Well, the Mizmor LeDavid is psukim of Tilim, right? So when you say a whole puzzle, you could say Hashem's name the real way. Okay. By Zmiras and Shabbos, right, when you have all the Zmiras and Shabbos, so there are people that say Hashem's name the real way. Right. There are people that say Hashem's name with saying Hashem. Sure. The same question you have when you say Pirkei Avos, right, and they quote psukim. Right. Okay, do you say Hashem's name the real way, or don't you say it the real way? So there's a whole discussion in halacha, whether you do, whether you don't. Some opinions say you could, some opinions say you don't. Unofficially, because it's definitely not officially, unofficially our minig is that we don't, even though it's not a real minig. A real minig is, by definition, what the Rebbeim write is a minig. That's the definition of a minig. Not what Siddim decide is a minig on their own. That Rebbe has clearly said many times. The definition of minig Chabad is not what people do, it's what the Rebbeim write, either in the Sichos or in the letters or in the Sefer Minhagim. That's officially what a Chabad minig is. Otherwise, no such thing as a Chabad minig. Some people say the psukim, even in Pirkei Avos, the real way, same thing by Zmiras. Some people say the Zmiras saying Hashem's name, but Mizmor LeDavid is different, because Mizmor LeDavid is from Tilim. When you say Tilim, you could say Tilim with Hashem's name, unless if you're repeating the pasuk a few times, and in the middle of the pasuk. So then
you say one time Hashem's name.
But anyway, so Api Kabbalah though, you don't do Kiddush Levanah until 7 days after the Meilad, if possible. That means if you still have enough time to do Kiddush Levanah, it's not like certain countries like Russia. In the winter, there was rarely a Levanah. So soon after 3 days, there was a moon. Boom. They ran out and right away did Kiddush Levanah. That you do even according to Kabbalah. But otherwise, like in LA, those places, the minig is according to Kabbalah to wait until 7 days after the Meilad of the moon, the birth of the moon. What's interesting thing that a lot of people are unaware of, and they just start putting back into Luch Chabad, by the way, and that is when you announce the birth of the moon, where are we talking about? Israel. So then the Meilad of the Levanah that you see in the calendars is in Eretz Yisrael. It's in Eretz Yisrael. So B'chal, it's a whole 10 hours ahead of here anyway. It's a whole...
So the Meilad is the sliver? As soon as the Meilad is when the two witnesses saw...
No, the Meilad is when the moon is resurfaced, when the moon is born. Now, after that Meilad, the witnesses are able to see the moon, even though it's a tiny sliver. But without witnesses, today the calendar is set up. Like the Rambam says, it's the month is 29 and a half days, 793 halakim, which is...
So after the Meilad, you can actually see a little bit.
A little bit of the Levanah you can see, yeah. And then by the time it gets to the 7th day, you have a half a moon. 14th day, it's a full moon, and then it starts going downwards because of it. But Chlau, it's interesting. Years ago, there was a minhag by a lot of places that they did make weddings in the second half of the month. It's brought down in Sfarim. Except Adar and Elul, because those are Mazel Dika months. But like this, people didn't make, huh?
On Av.
No. It says in Svarim that Adar and Elul is the time people made weddings the whole month. Other months, there was a minute years ago that you didn't make a wedding in the second half of the month. Why don't you make a wedding the second half of the month? Because then the Levanah is going down. In other words, the Jews are likened to the moon. So when the moon is going up, you have a full moon, 14th, 15th day, 14 and a half day really. So then it's the mazel is going up. Then at the second half of the month, the moon is going down. So there was a minute in Chabad, they didn't make weddings in certain months, they didn't make weddings in certain parts of the times of the month. But years ago, the Rebbe took off all those limitations
just get married
and said,
the right person.
Get married as soon as possible. Unless today halachos says you're not allowed to get married. Like, what you call it, Chol Hamoed, you're not allowed to get married. The 3 weeks you're not allowed to get married. Tzviri, you can't get married. You know, I mean, those
times halachos says you can't get married. You can get engaged.
Yom Kippur, you can't get married.
You can get engaged, couldn't you?
You can get engaged, you can Tisha B'Av. We're saying about making a wedding, so now even those days, so it has to do with the mazel. By the way, when this whole union of the moon, the Medrash says, when it says Kaima Siyara B'Shlemusa, then the 14th, 15th days when the moon is full. In reference to what does the Medrash say? It's a Medrash. The Medrash says, as far as the generation starting from Avram Avinu, who was the first Jew, from Avram Avinu until David HaMelech was the 14th generation. Shlomo HaMelech was the 15th generation from Avram Avinu. So in the days of David and Shlomo, it was, the Medrash calls it, and Zayah says, Zakay Mesir B'Shlemusa was the best time for the Jews. Ishtach es Gafni, Ishtach Steinasi, the Jews were on top of the world physically, spiritually, physically, it was mamish the best. And then, go down and up and down, what?
Why don't the Mo'adim end on the 15th instead of starting on the 15th and then going down the moon?
Why does the Torah say to start the Yom Tov on the 15th?
I understand why the 15th is the more important.
No, it's Xer Sekos. No, it's Xer Sekos. Torah says it's only 2 months, but 2 Yom Tovim. Pesach and Sukkot.
And
Hanukkah is 25th.
It's all at the end.
Yeah, because sometimes you're elevating the end of the month. It depends. Sometimes you bring Kiddush to the end of the month.
I thought Jews don't go by Mazel.
They're not restricted by Mazel, but like we know, Monday is not a Mazel Dika day. Tuesday is a Mazel Dika day. Why? Because on Monday, in creation, it doesn't say the word Kitov. God saw it was good. On Tuesday, it says twice Kitov. So therefore, because Hashem said twice Kitov, the Gemara says Yem Shehu by Kitov was a day, so it's more Mazeldik. A Jew can go by Mazel, but you're not restricted by Mazel. You could change Mazel. That's what it means. You say to somebody Mazel Tov. No? What does Mazel Tov mean? Mazel Tov, you should have a good Mazel. Now, if we wouldn't have it connected at all to Mazel, why would we say Mazel Tov? So the answer is, Jews have Mazel, but they're not dictated like the Goyim are with Mazel. The Goyim are dictated by Mazel, they can't change it. Jews can change the Mazel.
Go above their Mazel.
No, because Ein Mazel Yisrael Ayin, the Jews are on a higher level, above and beyond the whole concept of Mazel. Okay, so the earliest you could do Kiddush Levanah is after 3 days. The latest you could do it, according to Kabbalah, you shouldn't do it before 7 days. The latest you could do it is when it says in the calendar, the end amount of Kiddush Levanah, because it's basically half the month. Okay, now, L'chatchila, it says in halacha that you don't do Kiddush Levanah Friday night or the night of Yom Tov. In halacha it says if it's Shasat Chak, that means it's the last night and there's no other time to do it. So in Poskin they write clearly that even then you could do it. Al Pi Kabbalah, from the Rebbe Rashab again, what it means, how it means, I don't know. But there is from the Rebbe, and the Rebbe Rashab said you don't do Kiddush Levanah Friday night. The minig is not like that. The minig is if possible, if this is the last night you do it. And they write that then what you do is a day later, but it's too late already. So you take out the Gemara, like we said before, and you say Ton Rabbanon, And you do it like that. The question is about Tchumim L'mayla Me'asar and Tchumim Yom Tiv and all that stuff. But according to Shulchan Aruch says, L'chatchila you don't, but B'shas Chag, then you do it. The Bach did it, and all these great tzaddikim did it.
But on Rosh Hashanah, for sure you don't do Kiddush Levanah.
What?
למה?
זה היום הראשון, זה לא היום הראשון.
What?
He said, but differently, why you don't מכריזים ראש חודש בחודש אלול?
No.
So how do you know it's Rosh Chodesh?
You look in the calendar.
Besides looking in the calendar, the rabbi מכריז?
No.
Why not?
Because God does it.
Huh?
Hashem does it.
Hashem does it. כל חודש, we do it.
Yeah.
And חודש אלול,
Hashem does it.
So we can do it.
Hey,
אתה אמרת שאני לא אמרתי, אני לא אמרתי.
you're a Baal Shem Tov guy, right?
Huh?
You're like the Baal Shem Tov.
Right.
The Baal Shem Tov said that month Hashem blesses, and we with that strength bless all the other months. So Hashem blesses that month. The reason in halacha why you don't do it, that the Satan shouldn't hear when Rosh Hashanah is.
every year we lie to the Satan, but Satan לא יודע.
No, he doesn't know.
Why? He's so idiot.
Yeah.
Every year we lie to him and he's still there.
What is the Gemara called the Satan? The Yetzer Hara, Melech, Zokin, Uchsil.
Same.
Shtus, Shaita.
Shaitan.
That's not what it means that the Satan.
Every year we tell
It
him
doesn't.
the same
So
thing.
listen.
And he
It
believes
doesn't mean that the Satan's a Shaita. Why don't you blow shofar Erev Rosh Hashanah?
What?
Why don't you blow shofar Erev Rosh Hashanah?
Oh, again,
Also, to mix up the
mislead
Satan.
the shote,
The Satan.
the Satan.
Yeah? So why doesn't he look in the calendar just like me and you look? So what's the explanation? It
The
means
rabbi
something else.
No.
When the Jews finishing blowing shofar the day before, yeah, that means they already did tshuva. When they don't blow Erev Rosh Hashanah, they don't need it because they're done tshuva already. So the Satan sees the Jews already did tshuva. I have nothing to come for. I'm mixed up. I can't come to prosecute the Jews.
Very good, Rabbi. Good.
They're Chassidut.
Oh.
They're Chabad. Chassidut. Chabad.
When we have to add Hasidut. It's good
All right,
explanation.
Ma'arish,